Sure.
Okay. You're on.
Hear ye. Welcome to Scared Ground Up Meat. In this corner, weighing 210 pounds, Dan Brady. In the other corner, everybody else in the world. As the current host of this longest running open casket in the known and unknown universe, serving up ground bones and dead blood since 1972. Please support this reading by enjoying those bones and blood served here. Let's have a hand for Vampire Teddy and Ghoulish Veal. Poetry of all kinds, ladies and gents, is welcome. And we ask you to please bury your family elsewhere. Respect the mic. Keep conversations to a whisper. Put phones on.
Or vibrate. Don't distract the speaker or the house, or pass in front of him, her, or them, or it. Also, keep to the time limit,
Which is eternity.
usually 5 minutes.
But that can change.
Remember, we have 2 shows.
3, 4.
Four shows. I bet you didn't expect the 7-ish and the 8:30-ish. For this reason, I ask for generosity.
No, I asked for blood.
Going short. Everybody over 5'5", you're last. So we're going short tonight. Helps with the tradition of getting everyone on the mic. Okay, if you want to be in the proverbial loop, if you want to be in the proverbial loop, if you want to be in the, we have an opt-in email list and a Facebook group. Oh, for all you suckers out there. We stream the video. Yeah, we piss on it left and right. And this is handy in 5 ways. You can view from home. Family or friends can see you live, or later on, or perhaps yesterday, or perhaps tomorrow. If you want to hear so-and-so, or him and them, poem again, why, it ain't going to happen. Yes, you can. Want to do a self-critique? A self-critique? Pish tush. If you really want to, step outside and we'll see you tomorrow. And it is a way to put out the word. Yours, mine, ours, minutes, seconds, days, years. It's a way to put out the word. Okay, we put the word out. Remember the ongoing theme. Never doubt that a small group of committed citizens, fools, can change the world. Indeed. It's the only thing that ever has Margaret Mead.
Thank you.
And nothing else has Margaret Mead. We don't have Margaret Mead. But the evening's theme is...
The evening theme is duck.
Ducks?
D-U-C-K. Any way you take that.
Don't forget the ducks. Okay. Also, next week's feature will be... next week. And...
Wait a minute. San Francisco, Peace and Hope. The anthology will be here as next week's theme.
Okay. Remember, now, as to the first show... The keynote will be...
Mr. Sanderell.
Mr. Sanderell, Ricardo himself. While our feature is...
a
double feature. It's a single feature. It's... Who are we featuring?
Thea Matthews, who is not in the house quite
Thea
yet.
Matthews is not here.
Which she will be. She said
will.
She will
Oh, promises.
Well,
promises.
you know...
Who will give...
The Queen's Wave or King's Wave when she's
Queen's Wave?
That reminds me of a very rude joke. I'll tell you later.
Yes. As to the second show, the last word will be...
Rob.
The last word will be...
Rob.
And the mini feature is...
Tommy, ever go to make it?
And we have fabulous door prizes.
Let me go over those fabulous door prizes.
Let you go over those door prizes. Go under the door prizes and
Common
put them right
grounds,
out
if
front.
you want a copy, here is one. Now, this is an example of what happens when you go for a walk or you ride your bicycle. You find things like this on the street. The complete woodcuts of Albrecht Dürer was on the street in beautiful shape. I found, what's his name? I can't remember the name.
W.H. Auden.
No, not Auden. Oh, God, I can't remember the name. Never mind.
Dr. Kildare, or maybe
No,
Ben Casey? Well, you're wearing the uniform.
Okay, just let me go. A Certain World by a commonplace book by W.H. Auden. Okay, thank you so much. The Wilderness Within, remembrance to David Brower. I don't know anything about that. You must know that.
Yes.
Dave Barry, is from Mars and Venus. Mars and Venus, in case you know that. The Secret
For
Place.
those of you who are by no means.
Tana
Mars and
French. Tana French.
Venus. Tana French.
And then this is, I don't know how to say this guy here. I know the last name is Reichel, but I don't know anything about this. This is another thing that was found sitting there, and I thought, no scratches, so it's good. Oh, A Faithful Loving Animal, Josephine Rowe, and then, is that it? Is that it?
Cards. What about the cards, Dan?
Oh, the
All
cards.
the cards. You're such
There
a
is
card.
a card if you want to do being the co-pilot, which Nicole is this evening. There's a card for being the keynote. There's a card for being the mini and the last word, and also choosing the theme for next week, which this week was thanks to Sharon. Thank you. My brain was going like brain fart.
Thank you, Sharon.
Brain fart.
Be advised, although we record the evening, ha ha ha.
We are, actually.
Oh boy. If an audience member wishes to do so, please go outside to urinate. No, I'm sorry. Please ask permission to urinate. We'll send you to the back. We'll assume you've done so, urinated, should we notice recordings being made. You are a nation! Okay, here we go.
Thank you. All right. Give them a round of applause for that. I don't know why. And now the mini.
Foolishness begins.
Keynote, right?
Yes, the keynote of the evening. Give this man a round of applause because he's coming up here.
Well, it's too bad Thea's not here because I'm honoring her by reading one of her very short poems.
She'll know about that. When
From The City Is Already Speaking. It's called Yarrow. When our lips touch, electricity bolts down my throat. Our tongues play double dutch. A sun swirls within my body. I am safe. I am healed. And she reads it probably better than I did. Leonard Cohen, lyrics to Anthem. The birds they sang at the break of day. Start again, I heard them say, don't dwell on what has passed away, or what is yet to be. Ah, the wars, they will be fought again. The holy dove, she will be caught again. Bought and sold and bought again, the dove is never free. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. We asked for signs, the signs were sent. The birth betrayed, the marriage spent. Yeah, the widowhood of every government, signs for all to see. I can't run no more with that lawless crowd, while the killers in high places say their prayers out loud. But they've summoned up a thundercloud, and they are going to hear from me. Ring the bells that still can ring. You can add up the parts, but you won't have the sum. You can't strike up the march, there is no drum. Every heart, to love will come, but like a refugee. Ring the bells that can still ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in.
Sanderell. Oh, yes. No, he needs the. He is taking the attribution sheet, so he can attribute the poems that he read accurately without malice of forethought or five thought or six thought.
So next we have
Fritz Peter.
The mighty Brett Peter. Give him a round, please. And I'm just letting you know we have a crowd in here, so take your time. Be aware of your time, and you may go. I have to actually get this chair just move over here so I can get without having it. Oh, okay. Sure. There we go. Just move it like there. Thank you. Then I can get my stuff and not have to get in front of them. That's good. Thank you. Sorry.
Halloween. Once the people who owned the orchard, who had chased us, yelled at us, dangerous kids, threw a Halloween party. Dogs kept in, no border guards. The interior of the packing shed, brightly lit, orange streamers, carved pumpkins to match my Basque rodeo shirt and tall Stetson hat. Black mask and cardboard bats. Is that you, Tootie? More than one princess there, bobbing apples, theirs given away, and my penciled-in Zorro mustache. Oh. The kid's ear. They left him there on the floor in front of the tall radio, content and aware, a happy kid. It was the intro to The Lone Ranger, or Toscanini from Studio 8H, the William Tell Overture. He asked, "What is music?" Kids have questions, no one to answer. The sound was fast and wild, followed by Figaro's designed gibberish, or the Duchess and Little Beaver out on the porch of the old ranch house. Radio visions, first hallucinations. Who was that masked man? And what spark from flint napping brought us music? Oh! Trump's fever chart, and this involves also Fritz Lang's Dr. Mabusa. Trump's fever chart, his madhouse, our madhouse. Have you seen what he said today? Have you noted it on the chart? Looking up the bed from the chart, a patient in a long red tie. Trump is Dr. Mabusa, scribbling frantically on a legal pad. His madhouse, our madhouse, and no one pays any attention to the dead malaria victims in the street, or the dude who shot up a synagogue, or the drone mobile that flies through the night, spewing noxious particles, destroying cities. That's yesterday's news. That's today's news. From the Beltway, from downtown USA, fever chart in this madhouse, this off-kilter world that no one wants to fix.
Hey, off-kilter.
Next we have Brad Morewood.
And he is brand new, coming all the way from who told me where? Lovely red sweater!
Not only did I come to read, I also came to get a new hip, which they gave me on October 15th, 16 days ago. At St. Mary's, right?
That's really hip.
Yeah. Wishing well.
We do.
Circles in the pool outside the hospital, lighting the way for a son's survival, a wife's cure, shining at the bottom of the water, oscillating in ripples of good news and close calls. Energy reaching from the pool to the eyes of people having lunch on the edge, smoking cigarettes on the edge. Magnets changing the atmosphere, flattened bullets, lasers fixing things. Canis lupus familiaris. That's Latin for dog. My friend's dog rolled on a dead possum for the same reason she howls with ambulances, snarls if challenged at her food. Up until 14,000 BCE, her kind were wolves roaming steppes and forests of Eurasia with DNA almost identical to that of a wolf. It's amazing she wags her tail and lifts a paw for a snack. She exists between city and wilderness, between a hand and the bones of the dead, our past flashing in her fur and eyes. Carousel. I am on a carousel of children, horses, and other travelers. I imagine a flat world of real creatures on a straight line, but only to enjoy circling to music on a galloping giraffe. The magic night spins in porcelain eyes. And I'll just do one more. Thank you. These peasant days, under the blades, we drudge with cut roots and no self, drifting in as if from the cotton fields, silent melodies encase our hearts we dare not sing, lest the grim keeper visit us. Tears drown our breath and friends. We ourselves forget how to dream in these boxes, how to succumb to the wide roads, guffaw, sighs of relief, freedom of heroes. These angry days of minimum wage, suicidal, how we arm ourselves, strip pieces of our bodies to survive. Breathe in the quiet light of the stars. Find someone. These peasant days, with so much beyond our means, with so much shining youth grimed over, when we must keep our playfulness within our limbs, the miracle within our eyes, the ships that we will sail one day. Thank you.
Thank you. And Newbie. Booby.
Next we have
Christian. Christian?
Chris.
Yeah, that's Christian. And then Owen, and I'm thinking maybe we should do the on-deck chair thing since we got a lot of people here. So, Owen, why don't you come up to the on-deck chair? We'll do that so that we can facilitate the facilitation of facilitatively, which isn't a word, but who cares? No one's quoting me anyway. Wait a minute, this thing is recording me. Maybe I should just stop it while I'm ahead. Okay. And for your convenience, this thing is set up so you can look at you how you appear, so you can play to the camera in case you want to do that. Of course, some people don't want to do that. Go ahead.
About face. The malignant dimple excised. The victim was at its wit's end until the arrival of service skunk Millie. Sans stink glands, of course. A first responder, along with her canine counterparts. An authorized caregiver on call when dermatology clinic smoochers result in unflattering hickeys. Men of few words. Son's foremost desire, I want an ice cream. Dad responded, remind me tomorrow. That Sunday morning came, and Dad was still in bed, deplorably hungover. Son's latest reminder was Dad's last straw. After Dad struggled to his feet, he went straight for the razor stroke that had belonged to his father. He addressed his son's craving to the extent the flogging victim was unable to sit down for a week. As the boy matured, the sharp stings deep in his motor memory inhibited him from asking anyone for anything. He became a soldier and was eventually decorated for all the enemy fire he so ruthlessly returned. While his Medal of Honor was being pinned on, he furtively scratched between his buttocks.
Yeah.
Owen Dunkel and then Jack Melander, come to the chair, please, so we can organize ourselves with facility, grace, and even more things. I like the furtive part myself. Yeah, furtively.
Halloween Sonnet, 2005. Bewitched alive, the night begins to dance the hours. Ghosts enhance the throbbing fairies, mincing the chance to talk to the great orb, the moon. Sequins like stars gleam to the pumpkin. Grins like the jack-o'-lantern, elves dance to the jolly coachman's whip. Romance like apples, the ghouls bob. Sin, 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 why not? All joy, the crazed beasts of roaring plenty, seek the thistles of flesh and Sodom. Dazed with wonder, mercy, mercy, mercy. Meek as the dawn, the children say, trick or treat, we love, this I pray. Big O's, that's my nickname. My poems are the sound of language that is trying way too hard to get. Majesty 5, I'm a prince, I'm a prince. Hey, look at me. Think I'll climb a mountain? Think I'll drink some tea? Here, I love the evening. I love the evening shade that flies those tucked in birds to downright frenzy. Act erotique. In the art of sex, there is truth of recognition as two naked bodies come together in a satori of confusion and confession. Fire break. Upshoot first song, the grass is growing aside. The mouse took gas. Romping leveled the roots that lay, a jumping blaze of eternal roaring. Let's see. Mowing the air, scorching the trees, knowing full well that the churning, stomping that the crickets make in the stomping groin of mildewed eyes. Rowing the full length of dismay still present in our hearts that lay aside all necessary evil. Well, well, my soul may be that of one hand clapping. Aloft, aloof, I defy the cold air. Soft, my sound of sand. Half asleep in the library. Rain pelts down its model harmony that placates our lives more quietude, a fervent intrusion into the affairs of old gods asleep in the thunder of Thor, and the civilized inquiry to stealthy Thoreau and his jest to civilization that tries hard to placate a quotidian that tries to stay quiet and forever fast asleep. Storm roar. Earth pelts, shatters its hinges down upon the night that, placid as a pond, often invites a night of rain upon the traffic moving across. Crown of glory, sleek Van Ness Avenue. Gown of blackness, the evening moves on, overnight quiet until the dawn that will always break. Oh, this town, full of stealth and quiet as it moves alone, but by its roistering will and the force of nature and its present downs, and its present doves of plants and manna. O will of sand and dharma, keep alive to the fowl. The all-seeing pigeons of now, a cowl to our wisdom and folly.
Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Mr. Owen. Thank you, Mr. Owen. All right, back to window.
Mr. Millender.
And then,
Kyla Douglas on deck, followed by Ali.
is it Kayla? Kayla, on the deck chair there late. Thank you so much. And you're new here, right? Oh, boy. All right, so Jack Mellender, give him a round. Then we got a newbie.
Don't forget, Dr. Brady, you have the soul transplant and operating too.
Thank you.
Abuse.
I'm a soul.
Oh, sweet baby, come and get your long-lost, storm-tossed, star-crossed fool, your hapless, haggard Blitz the Moor, and from his jowl wipe off the drool. Somewhere in the desert trudges desolate your hero mad, there whence he, whose thought not budges from the joys of sweet despair. Rise now from your boudoir bazaar, venture from your palace crypt, reach the tavern beneath the star and slake a mind your world ungripped. One comes here with desires and dreams, they ratchet them all up one notch. When he's made them come true, it seems they must attack, so guard your crotch. God, teach me jealousy and fear. I'll help you, power. Steal freedom, too. But oh, please get me out of here where all is anguish, shame, and rue. Debts of vengeance, debts of love, pay these, and you must those increase. Have demons, but not men above, egalitarian surcease. 2. Above the beats of surging tide to rhythm, she is thinking of a singing girl worlds wide and streams a silken purple glove, where cliff edge meets the meadow lawn behind the poplar swaying there against the early summer dawn. She sweeps up stars with shadowed hair. Into the cliffs some steps were hewn, but crumble now, the rock mist wet. The thing, or man, who climbs will soon achieve the edge, but hasn't yet, and smiles as he hears her song, and muses as he listens there. Perhaps to show her would be wrong, but her indifference means despair. Is it fatigue from many climbs, suspense him where as he prepends his mind awash in ruby rhymes, his shadow all alone descends? Enwrapped in magic of her song, he flings a thigh above the scarf, he stalks her round his wrist a thong, through grasses tall and wet and sharp, he pounces and her poem dies her wrists, he binds round saplings small, and puts himself before her eyes. He doffs his hat, his tunic, all. Then, suiting action to his word, he asks, do you find any shame to watch me do what were absurd, or mating hardly worth the name with urge of beauty must arouse in hapless barrack ship, or cellmates those in lone carouse, myself to love although not well.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you. He can help you with the mic.
I got it.
When you the part that the poem that you read by Thea, you have Piece. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You have Piece Yarrow, Piece.
It's the piece. What did I write?
Huh?
What did I write?
Piece. I'm asking, is it Peace?
No, it's a piece by, not piece.
Oh, it's not.
It's a piece by her.
Okay, but you say Piece Yarrow. Yarrow is the name of the piece.
It's the piece. Yes.
Okay, Yarrow is the name of the poem. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Now we have a newbie. People give her the thing. Come on, let's go. Just want to let you know you're welcome. And we believe in you.
Okay.
And like that.
All right. Monsters come in all forms. They don't always look like you've been told. Sometimes they're nice and they smile at you, buy you a drink, and tell you something sweet. And sometimes, if you're lucky, monsters climb into your bed, strip you, and devour you, leaving you there to rot in your bed. Stepping into what would Stepping into what some would consider an abyss, a man is spewing the contents of his lunch, a couple arguing about a third strike. All the while, a man who is tweaking, stuttering, talking to the enemy trapped in his head, and another fighting and smacking with an unseen enemy. One more trying to find the implanted device, looking for someone who is willing to work in unison to make it through, but instead activity ceased. Counting down until it's time to move on to the next stage of purgatory, hoping to not be followed, counting down, waiting.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, and then Brett, you're on deck. You're. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to stop that. Allie, how are you this evening?
Great.
All right.
Okay. Oh, thanks.
There we go.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so I brought in something until I heard that the theme was duck, and then I had to read this. Okay. This is called Dead Duck. All right.
That goes with the theme.
It's perfect. Marty, there is way too much shit in this freezer, Mom says, in search for frozen ravioli. Is this bag yours? She turns to face me, holding a black trash bag, covered with duct tape and ice. I shake my head. I'm ducked low on the sofa, sitting next to Ben, who is supposed to be doing homework, and instead is lost to Minecraft. Marty, is this yours? Mom asks Dad. He says no. Mom sighs and stretches the black bag, growing impatient with its taut lines. She grabs the bone-cutting scissors that slice through chicken like water, and the duct tape splits, clean in one motion. Ice falls onto the granite counter, and Mom rips at the bag. The water is boiling, ready for the ravioli. Ice melts on the counter. Each flake is a failed snowman. Marty, what the hell? Mom begins as two feathers stick out of the bag. A mallard duck clatters onto the table, eyes black, and feathers muted with freezer burn. The yellow bill has faded to a paper white, and the purple to a dusty blue. The dark brown plumage on its chest is still chestnut, but the webbed feet are turned in, shriveled with ice. Hey! Dad leaps up from the couch and runs to the counter. That's my duck! Jesus, Dad, Ben mutters, looking over his laptop from the couch. What were you planning to do with it, taxidermy? Yes, actually. Look at the feathers, they're perfect, Dad says, holding the duck like a baby and admiring its plumage. He pawns over it. No, Dad, just no. Ben gags at the sight. Mom searches the rest of the freezer for the ravioli. Hey, have you ever seen my stuffed weasel? Dad asks me, and Ben slams his computer cover down, looking towards Dad and the dead duck. No, Dad, I have not seen your dead stuffed weasel. Where'd you last leave it? Oh, I know where it is, Ben. I'm just asking if you've seen it. The one with tissue papers stuffed in its eye sockets instead of eyes? Yes, Dad, I've seen it. We've all seen it. Have you, Al? I almost answer when Mom says that she's found the ravioli and there are way too many people in the kitchen now. So if we could move the dead duck conversation into the dining room. I'm keeping my duck, Dad says defensively. The duck is a football tucked under his arm. Every human in the kitchen is offense. The ravioli clatter onto the counter where the dead duck was moments ago, and Mom curses. Dad picks some of the ravioli up and says they're still good. Mom says she doesn't need the dead duck in the kitchen anymore. I ran all the way home from the bank with this, Dad protests, the purple wing feathers held tight to his side like a flag. From the bank, he emphasizes. That's great. Can you help me with dinner? Mom asks, and Dad nods and looks around for counter space for the dead duck, amidst the broccoli heads that need to be chopped. He washes his hands twice because Ben asked him to, and talks about how he and Mom found the dead weasel on a hike once during their days of courtship. At university, Mom adds, smiling at Dad and leaning into his shoulders. The dead duck now faces me, thawing alongside the frozen ravioli. That's when we knew we were falling in love, Mom says, leaving the kitchen to retrieve the dead weasel to show us.
Thank you. David Z.
David Z, you're on deck.
David E. And so it's an E? Oh, it's an E. Yes, it is. You're on deck. The feature of the evening has arrived. Thea Matthews is here. Just to let you know. Good evening. We're approaching your time, my dear, and we'll catch up.
Sounds good.
Oh, that's ours. Thank you.
Untitled. I took a walk down the road a ways and found her sitting there, her vibrant full hair blowing in the wind. When I approached the brown weathered oak bench, she said, "I have nothing left to give." "Good," I said softly, "for I come not to take, but to give, and that gift is whatever you need it to be." She looked up, tried to smile, but still quivered. "I cannot make anything right," I carefully replied. "You don't have to. Sometimes you have to deal with the pain in order to move forward. But I am here, endlessly, with all my support. I am here. I need a miracle, and so you will find one. But until then, find peace." Her smile started to light up the forest once again. The air in her lungs filled the heartbeat to a steady, relaxed tone. The majesty in her essence vibrated through the autumn, brisk wind. She wasn't perfect, but neither was I. And we would say in a future moment later on, sometimes all one soul needs is another imperfect part to show them they are not alone in this mad, wild world.
Wow. Mad, wild world.
October. There is orange in the sunrise, red in the leaves, light blue on the water reflection, dark brown on the tree trunks. Dew on my morning windshield. I ran my fingers along the bottom half, the cool moisture on hand. I look at the drips on the tips of my index and middle finger. After a moment, I gently shake them off as they plummet to the earth, a wet death as they knock the ground. Blip, blip. I love fall. It is both a reminder of beauty of things and the real impermanence of existence. I enjoy the change of colors, the smells of apple cider, the shape of pumpkins, playoff baseball, and a wide range of other things. October is my favorite month by far. This is called I Know Someone Who Has, and Why I'm Voting Blue. There's never been a point where I went to a bar and worried if someone was going to spike my drink. I know someone who has had to have that worried. And that's why, on Tuesday, I'm voting blue. I've never been put into a life situation where others have tried to socially tell me that I must bear a child, keep it for the rest of my life, and maybe have no involvement from the person who is partially responsible for said creation. I've never been in that situation, but I know someone who has. And that's why on Tuesday, I'm voting blue. I've never been put in the situation of blatant, real hatred and racism. I've been bullied, but not to that extent. I know someone who has, and that's why on Tuesday, I'm voting blue. I could go on and on about the list, and sure, some of my friends online try to come at me with economics, and I have to just look at them and say, are you even human? I can't sit there with money if people aren't being treated equally. And we're nowhere close to that. So that's why, Republicans, on Tuesday, you better fucking duck. Because we're voting blue. The demons of every part of this form come at me hard and tell me that I'm not worthwhile. I realized, finally, that my best response was not words, but silence. So I could look them in the eye, and they could read my thoughts, which said, I am worthy, and you are just a memory. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to ask you a quick question. So, if we pause this and restart it, would that create
it would be 2 different files.
Yeah, that would be good. So
That'd
when
be
the
fine.
feature comes on, we'll pause
Oh, yeah.
it and do that. Like
Yeah, and then do that one.
And then David E. Give him a round, please. And then me, of course, that's unfortunate, but you know, that's part of the group. That's me.
Listen, Buster, I'm not doing a fiend tonight because I'm a little deafy.
Better do it. I'm sorry.
So instead, I'll read something I read last week. Counter. Culture.
Thank you.
May I take your order, please? All fall down. 100,000 ways to disintegrate. You eat the fungus. You cheat the fungus. Nary a trace of chlorophyll. Hugh Sickly comes to take your order. Fibrous tendrils of putrescence strike coral poses erupting from your tongue. A-E-I-O-U puffs. Deep cobalt spores that nestle in your hair, where twigs encourage a nearly impenetrable mat of ghostly white homunculi. Rust sends your epidermis into a scratching frenzy just beneath the fumaroles that seem to be pouting from your shoulder blades. Hugh Sickly returns. He regrets that Edgar Allan Poe is no longer the proprietor. Vincent Price seems to have melted away. He apologizes to Harlan Ellison, hands you the menu, and asks that you remove your eyeballs after reading the special of the day. I have no mouth and I must scream!
Thank you.
We cannot judge by surface tension. We must dig into deeper dimensions. Each soul living out on the street is culture wasting that heartbeat. Inside a cube, they've got you cornered. Regret the day that you were born, or else AI, who's never sad, says please consume another ad. Turn off sound on your big screen, which sells you images obscene. Sex and violence, that's the ticket, prophesized by each new bigot. Holy rollers, steal your rent. Computerize what you have spent. Blur your name or steal your vote. Colored or poor, that's all she wrote.
Wait.
But people power will not die. Regret the lies of the big red tie. And we could get rid of him tomorrow if, as a group and peacefully, nobody paid their taxes. XR size. It's just a make-piece strip of leather. Binds my arms together when I am upside down. Hamstring stretch from toe to back as I lie on the ground. Initially my belt, a cinch around my middle. But now a knotted loop stops muscle droop. It fits me like a fiddle. Cord suspenders. Sometimes we are stunned at the speed of the evolutionary process. It is happening right now. This earth changes. Species adapt with it to survive, propagate, proliferate. Only a fool would say he or she is a master of mushroom speciation. Spores alone have 7 different characteristics under a microscope. Methods of diffusion vary, go 6 or 60 miles, and the terrain varies just enough to challenge change. Meet the need for survival. Details are specific. Note them. Taste is another characteristic. Percentage, proportion, balance is vital when initially ingesting. One intrepid investigator, David Aurora, takes the smallest amount possible, tastes it, spits it out, waits, perhaps for a couple of hours. Did he get sick? Did he feel euphoric? Did he get any hallucinations? Moderation is of the utmost importance. Diversity is an ever-expanding engine. The wrong alkaloid need only kill you once, but oh! The challenge of danger. Some of us promote the human race within the context of the biosphere. Some of us destroy it in sections. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so proud to be here with you now. Yeah, I'm next, and then him, and then our feature of the evening. Yeah, that was how. So, vocabulary lesson just for because this is an unusual term. I came across it the other day, and it's useful because it's a descriptor. The term is stochastic terrorism. Stochastic. Stokos is the Greek from ancient Greek for to aim, and stochastic terrorism is when someone gets on a media format and blathers violent spewing. And then someone, not related to that person, does some violent action. Stochastic terrorism. I love the term. It's very descriptive. Anyway, so I have two pieces that I'm going to begin with. It's either Trump or Kavanaugh. Which one? Kavanaugh. Okay. Well, I did that one before, the celebrated Mr. Trump. Anyway, and then I'll do something that'll clean the palate. Now, if you remember the Beatles, they did a song called The Benefit of Mr. Kite. Okay. This is for the benefit of Mr. K. Understand? And I'll try to sing it, but you know. The celibate man, Mr. K, put on his robe this Saturday without fanfare. His wife and children stood right there as a fat old judge read through the text without a care. Over rights and laws and people's blood he lied and hid his boozing rages with care. In this way Mr. K will challenge the world. The GOP did dance and sing as K prevaricated in the ring. The show was great. Mrs. K&T assures the public their production will be second to none. And of course all we saw was nothing but schmaltz. The FBI played out their tricks so Mr. T could tweet abuse without a sound. And Mr. K did remonstrate with tears and anger demonstrate he's on solid ground. Having been some years in preparation, a horrid time is guaranteed to Paul. While tonight Mrs. K will be having a ball. I love the man, he's very inspirational. And now, because the theme was duck, I do have a poem that has a duck in it. Okay. This is called Peace. Okay. As my mom would say, peace, it's wonderful. Now shut up and get out of here. Okay, peace. Create this once, and you've created it 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, 1,000 million never-ending times. Peace is what it is. Between any two thoughts, any two breaths, any two heartbeats, a stillness. Peace is what it is between the dreams, the wants and wishes, a stillness. Peace is what it is when nothing at all is happening, when the air is calm and the gold of day settle into night's deepening hues. There is a stillness. Peace is what it is in this world, when the soul is unruffled with a single indrawn breath, providing perspective before you simply react, when you look before you leap, as it were, and you keep a stillness. Peace is what it is on a tranquil pond with reflections that mirror life until that first duck skids in, or the breeze wrinkles it, creating an impressionistic collage of green and sky sequins with a stillness. Peace is what it is when each step is a forward step on the path that lay easy before you with a gentle wind at your back, and you walk along with a stillness. Peace is what it is when your quietude is like that of a new moon's, and you're reeling with the inspiration of a lover's serenade, all on a lazy, hazy summer's night, and each clear, moving note is embraced by a stillness. Peace is what it is in harmony. It's the heart of the matter, and therefore all matter of the universe for all time. A stillness. Peace is what it is when you created, and being that it is all there is, peace is a stillness. Create this once, and you've created it 1,000 times, million times, 1,000 million never-ending times. Peace is a stillness. Thank you.
Thank you. My mother thanks you, my brother, thanks you, my sisters, cousins, best friends, second grades, teachers, best neighbors, friends, uncle, who left the city under mysterious circumstances. Thank you.
God, not that.
And now we have Sanderell coming back for his piece in this. Give him a nice round. And then I will introduce the speaker of the evening. Just so you know, there's something like that.
There's going to be somebody with me, David Erdreich.
David Erdreich.
I have two short pieces and one somewhat short. The first one is...
you want me to play them both?
Oh, yeah, I want you to play it. Okay. Echoes in the Canyons. They work, study as if there is a tomorrow. Walk with purpose whether there is a purpose or not. Importance of looking busy. Native people of Peru, Ecuador, play guitars, flutes, music that makes you weep from its beauty, joy. All this echoing in air, hurling through the chasms, reaching ears that can hear sax, horn, drummer playing plastic drums. Bring on the choir. Go to where power works. Speak to them. Perform the story in language, music, dance. They won't come to us. We go to them. Tell them your truth through stories, poetry, sketches, scenes, music, singers. More theater of and from the street. We have no time for fooling around. Our world is having a radioactive and carbon meltdown. No decontamination here or ice to spare. Women warriors! There will only be women warriors. Men have done themselves in, metaphorically, literally shot themselves in the foot, head, heart. There will only be women warriors. Men have so weakened their position in the land of superiority. Even other men have stopped listening to them. There will only be women warriors. They will now be in their pay and places, position equal to any man. Things will be different. More men waving their dicks to show who's superior? No. There will only be women warriors. USA will go back to the Iroquois nations, where our form of government originates. Only this time, women are included against the white Christian men's will. This time, there will be women warriors for a more perfect union.
Oh, come on. All
right, this is called Ornaments Hang in Trees. In country, deserts, trees stand straight or slightly bent, reaching for other trees, skies, universes. Stars, planets hang on trees like ornaments gleaming for everyone, whether anyone, flora, fauna, sees or not. Moving in circle like a crystal ball, seen in the eye, but so we can cast no perceived shadow, as if mother that's turning the ball, reflecting our universes rather than the utter quartz-sized planet we are. As sun shines its dapple light to trees appears as 1,000 suns shines hanging on leaves, limbs, casting light, shadow. Ornamental sun, while it gives us life, beauty can maim, kills if sun's pleasures you seek. Ah, the yin and the yang, the glass half full, half empty paradox. Things are never that easy, never just black and white, except for the twinkling and the beguiling dance of black and white, where black is always beautiful, where all colors live between, the black-white light. There is in humanity splendor, sad, magnificent, insignificant, grace, disgraced, love, forgotten. Nature, as the metaphor finds, mother hard as a rock, soft as a lamb. Lessons in how the mother's parts work that makes this happen is the story of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Richard Sanderell, editor right from the sack. All right. So now I get to do something I always say is my favorite part of the show, which is to compliment someone in such terms and terminology that they not only know who I'm talking about, but they're there and they get to go, oh my God, he's telling all these things about me. But they're true and they're good. So, you have been introduced actually earlier this evening. Richard Sanderell read a poem of yours, Yarrow, up here as part of the keynote, just so you know. You heard a little bit of poetry already this evening. Simon. And now I may direct your audience's attention to the audience. Just look around. Place is packed. And if you can be judged by the company you keep, you take a look and go, wow, this person has great company. We have the poet laureate of San Francisco sitting over here, Miss Kim Chuck over there. So she's going to come up on mic. We have E.K. Keith over there, Poems Under the Dome. And you say to yourself, wow, and there's other surprises here, so don't just think it's them, it's all of you and us. Thea Matthews is a wonderful poet. Now, I first met her at an event, the bookstore that you did, the reading series there. And I can't remember the name of the bookstore. Adobe Books. Gears Turning, thank you. And I saw her and I was going, wow, what a great writer. It was amazing. And it took a long time for me to figure out things and time, chaos. My mind is crazy. But we have her here this evening, and it's going to be very special. If you think of the term soul, and you think of the term light, and then you, in your mind, you put them together and say soul, light, you'll have an idea of what you're about to experience. This is a person who has a brilliance, a presence. Yes, right? Thank you. And the voice, the style of the presentation is interesting. I found it fascinating, and I was going, wow, I might not understand that, but I love it. You know, or I really get that. I've been there, unfortunately. You know, textural detail, commentary, awareness, soul, light. Okay, Thea Matthews, would you kindly come up here and show them what for? Thea Matthews, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Because we're going to do an open mic. We go back to this has your name.
Yeah,
it says Brett Benson, MBA.
Or Matt, sorry.
So is this good?
Yeah.
Oh, because it looks like that.
Yeah, even when it goes.
Oh, okay. That's
this
like
see
it's
this green light.
Oh, okay.
As long as the green light's on, you're good.
Okay, all right.
And we haven't pressed stop, so you're fine.
Okay, so everything it's going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
This is our alternate method here. I just want to make sure everything is fine, and so you can see how you are. And
Wow.
It's all right. Not our usual method, but you know.
Yeah, I know, it's interesting.
Good. All right.
I have some poems. How long do I go to?
20 minutes, and I'll give you like a 4 or 3, something like that. So you'll see.
Okay, cool. Yeah. How's everyone doing?
Oh,
yeah. Woo! Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Thank you, Dan, for inviting me to be part of this legendary open mic series at Sacred Grounds. Definitely historical.
Thank you.
It's beautiful, and it's part of the main veins of the city, and so to be part of this is pretty awesome. I have some poems for you. As I was listening to the poets before, thank you to all your work. It's quite political, and I get it. We're in political. When is it never? I mean, it's always political, right? Like, when is it not political?
Everything is political. You walk down the street and you buy something as opposed to something else.
The personal is political.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a chance. Oh, no, I'm not going to invite you into my mind. I'm just going to. My name is Thea Matthews, TheaMatthews. I can be found anywhere. I'm everywhere. And I am here, dangling from a frank cries of screams buried in dirt. This country wears hypocrisy, like a hagfish or lamprey found in Saks Fifth Avenue fur. The parasite appears rich from scraps of skin and hair. Twirls and blood of children's fingers stitching line by line who will one day die a premature death. Artificial light and intelligence cannot conceal core cavities found in the body, found in dead tree trunks, found in unraveling roots, conduct policies, corporations, this nation's constitution. Law is nothing but a series of loopholes. A game of chess where your polo sweater, the canon, condones torture, genocide, rape. Tell me, could policy ever really be used to ensure the freedom for all people, of all races, of all genders, of all sexualities, of all religions? We were never equal. You touch my leaves, chew on my petals, swallow me whole and I kill you. Step back. Listen. I am the angel's trumpet. To the voices on street corners, backyards, front lawns. Nah, fuck it. I don't feel well. I'm trying real hard. I look fucking good.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to give huge props to Katie Porter over here because she's fucking phenomenal. But I'm like dying inside, so.
Some water.
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
Thank you.
I also have 3 drops.
So do I. Thank you. No. What I need is like. It's okay. So bear with me, but we're gonna be on a 20-minute ride together. I do write poetry. I am a poet. Open. I baptize you. In the wild blue false gold, the pliable reed-like flowers. Your body saturated in the granules of lapis lazuli, sprout from tears copulating with cash crops, edible gold and blue denim. Armies of unknown rebels, too black to ever be burned at the stake, gamble in the rings of your eyes. You are to be cherished. Your curls are yours, not for porcelain heads or zookeeper fingers. Your skin cannot be worn by sunspots and credit cards. Your lips are the softest, chewable rims, sucking the seeds of terracotta sunsets. And your calloused feet already know the direction Earth will move, to shatter faulty skyscrapers, perplex magnetism, rip the renewal from urban on red soil.
Oh.
Belly bloated with acid, tarnished by tobacco resin. People see their reflection on your teeth. Your voice only widens the lips for presentation. Arms stretch in an old niner's jacket. Chin drops, pulse and stomach. With the giant's pride, heels of high tops, Doc Martens. All you want to do is sleep for days. Pawn each exhale. A time capsule for escape. In a new city, you wear the memories. Tall legs, heavy eyelids rupture. A belch of stale air bruises arteries. The bloodshot fold foil. Crusty veins pierce pavement. Lost leeches scramble for blood. A breeze of needles caresses your skin, combs your hair under a fading sun. No poetry can stop the penetration. Warhol lied. Everyone doesn't get their 15 minutes. You down to 4 Marlboro cigarettes a day. Black tar fingers oily. We both in fadeless black denim, listening to the Beatles' White Album. John Lennon singing, I'm so tired. That Brooklyn rat box for a kitchen you work in burns you. The milky sap of poppies lurks over your shoulder. So seductive, deceptively dainty, liquefies the streets on silver spoons. Gentrified apartment complexes dissolve, disintegrate, crumble into dust. Everything painted black, and you write back in the nest, the safety, the requiem you rest in, the darkness you call home in, the faces you conjure, the silence of ears ringing. There is no resuscitation for this time lost. Not everyone swims the depth I swim. Faces appear, disappear, then reappear on oil-stained streets. And for once, I would like to go a week without thinking of him. His death haunts me like a relentless weed who grows all year round, occupies the soil in a sit-in, defies time, protests the seasons, calls my name to the shore I once called body. Waves wash over me. I am home. Eyes opened, body a blimp, blood purified. Waves dissolve memories. The names we print on sand. I swore his fingers would grow old with the silver strands of his hair, but they will not. He left before me. I screamed, and I screamed, until my voice cracked. Shrills leaped from a dry tongue draped in white velvet. Muscles encompassing my mouth cramped. My reflection was a body, not my own. Sun-spotted skin, thin-parted hair, a man dressed for a funeral. His age-old eyes carry the rivers of remorse with the secrets of my mother's mother. And my mouth opened the mouths of lifetimes like stripped carnations sprung from grief. Wildly weeping, their sun has fallen. The moon tries to cradle them with distant wail songs, but wounds will never heal by suppression. Each petal stretches and folds, emulates origami, remembers the eternity of life we struggled to live, failed to eternalize happiness, and my desires to conquer, impulsively, recklessly kill, vanished. All I could hear were the echoes of blood-curdling screams. I finally surrendered. I never had control over you, over anyone, dictate any government, limit or expand the hours of one's existence. By the end, I was back in my bedroom, uncontrollably sobbing, only to be woke and told, you died. Thank you. There's this carnage of white paper behind me. Oh my God. Wax hands forge the freedom, the unshakable, everlasting knowing, self-worth dwells in the breath. No one defines your value. Pacific wind has summoned you. They sing your name from the palm of your rhythm to the arteries pushing waves. My bones penetrate the pavement. Each centennial bowl obliterates the lines and parking lots, street signs near newly bought commercial space, homes now forbidden to families who once lived there. Remembering their names, my pollen becomes prayers. I digest the wretched odor of the apathetic gentrifier and release a tantalizing fragrance sleepless beetles yearn for. My cretaceous fingers unfurl, and I watch trapped souls trap others. Lost souls doped up on any and all narcotics, souls struggling to recognize their own light. Only those willing see through trees. Taste my breath on Sunday afternoons. I look you in the eye, and you see those who screamed until they coughed blood, died in resistance, those who strangled grandmothers with rosaries, hid behind crucifixes, those spellbound negotiating with rambling spirits in the early hours of the Sabbath, and then those who remain stuck between dirt and drying pavement. In the summer, I uncover the little girl of my mother and all mothers before her, and I detect my father too inside me. Rooted from a thin stem, I elongate my neck, bridging the gap between heaven and earth, the path between me and my daughters. Generations of eyes closed meet those wide open. Tongues flailing, knees to a national anthem. Open my eyes further, you say. And I speak with unwavering loyalty to speak truth to power. Where children are conditioned to play dead, strive for six-figure salaries and soulless bodies, surrender their spirits to predators, acquiesce to providing sexual favors to preachers, politicians, teachers, in a land where presidency is a mere price tag, a storyline, a red necktie, an Armani navy blue suit with a $5,000 smile, corporate endorsements. Corporations are legalized persons. An alligator briefcase holds an eighth ball hidden from docile fingers and unpaid eyes, while an ex-celebrity icon wannabe toupee demigod twirls and prances in front of millions of followers, following 140 characters of distractions. He thrives on resistance, on reactions. Fear him, and he wins.
Yeah.
I look you in the eye, and you observe the tally of intentions, actions, words done in a lifetime. The cool are conditioned to yearn fame, want nothing more than to die rich. Life is reduced to a brand, a marketing campaign, reality TV. Watch them decay. Okay, cool, thank you. Beautiful. See, it wasn't so bad, not so painful. We all made it through together, all in one piece. No chairs have been thrown. So, we'll carry on. Exposed, yet shielded by wreaths of petrified roses surrounding old Egyptian tombs. melodious melting metal of time vanishes. I tasted your fingertips, licked your spine, massaged your shoulders while you gripped my hips. We swayed in darkness, chewing on soft rose petals you sprinkled across your bedroom. I lost my breath when with you. Heart contracted, a belly full of smoke. I plunged farther away from light. Roses, red, yellow, and white, weave an incomplete medicine wheel, burning sweetgrass, tobacco, cedar, but no sage, no black, no maturity, like an autumn sunset without indigo clouds or somber skies smeared with lavender. For years we walked the crimson labyrinth, found only in full-grown roses, sprawled with dead-end lines. But dead-end lines produced more lines, more dead ends, sharp corners, slamming doors, jumping off sea cliff edges. Our paths crisscross, like two tumultuous waves breaking on a deafening shore. A pair of star-crossed lovers. We made the sign of the cross. I lost myself over and over again in you. At the intersection, you kept reminding me of my own wingspan. You had me examine each feather with wonderment. You told me I could fly. Like the mother hawk, you pushed me off my neighbor's roof. You pushed me to fly, but each time I took flight, I tried clipping my wings. Wounded, I always fell into your arms each night. We forced a fire, summoning sirens and their seductive screams of terror. Liquor ossified our hearts. Way down, I drowned, yearning for my father and mother. I began to remember the abandonment, the incest, the betrayal. Your amphetamines veiled my soul, seized my spirit. I thought I could fly the way you promised I could. Pupils dilated. Yesterday's grease caked my skin. I wanted out of my old existence. Remembering hurt too much, I wanted out. And so did you. Eventually, I chose to feel. And those sirens, they found you. They drove you to the playa, sang to you in the winter. They escorted you out of San Francisco, out of California, out of a paramedic stretcher, out until pronounced dead upon arrival. Thank you so much. I'll close with one more. And thank you. I have one more. Okay. Yeah. We, the Apollyon tears of slain blood, a passionate, corporeal procession, streamlined down the center of a major highway. The demonstrations have begun. We rise barefoot, sprawl our legs, stretch our hips, stitch our paths. Our power obstructs the confines of a power upholding the heteronormativity, dishonor the women, deny trans rights, steal land, steal bodies, blame and laugh at victims, ensure perpetrators high societal jobs. We conquer the orthodox. Our raised fists, shouts through megaphones, denounce the glossy sheet, the featured tan lines, and the humans pretending to be AI. Our blood douses the land. New crust for the core. We block presidential alerts. We moan in motion, even in the millennia after Stonewall. The ocean floor spreads. Continents question their boundaries. On new land, water either rises or recedes. We magnetic, genderless, colorful, hyacinth, shimmering the communication between sun and moon. No one can tell us how to exist. Our potent fragrance summons transatlantic travels. We the most fragrant in spring. Thank you.
All right, just one more round of applause here. Come on. I didn't have to twist anybody. Thank you. Thank her. Thank you, Thea. Now we're going to take a brief break. We have a stellar second half, and I want to thank everybody here who, in the first half, they went a little short. That allows us to get everybody on. So we keep on, shaving it down like a minute. But you do 4 minutes each. That's what most people did when we came the first half. We do that again. We'll get everybody on. I appreciate that. I'd like to hear everybody. That's my tradition that goes beyond me, is having everybody get on the mic. So I'm going to stop here. In about 5 minutes, I'll be playing my harmonica if I can find it. No! Thank you. And then we'll get back with the second half. Thank you so much.
Enjoy, schmooze, talk, etc.
Oh, Bill.
Do hot hands.
It's all right. That was me.
15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo ho ho and.
I'll stop that now. See, I substituted at school today, so they asked me to substitute on Halloween.
Where were you today?
I was at Jefferson over on 9th, and the kids were great.
And you just sugared them up and stuff?
No, well, that was the parents brought all the stuff, but at the end of the day, I was the doctor, and they went around like this. They said, "What's that for?" And I touched the floor and said, "Oh, a smart one." Oh, did I get you not? Because you're a writer. And you know how to throw a pen.
Okay, great.
3 weeks.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we got it.
Take care.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you. I've got buds.
Oh, yeah, very nice. So that was you had that today, though.
I forgot it. I was super just like,
I didn't bring my doctor outfit because I got out. I was rushing, and I realized halfway there. So I one of my favorite Halloween stories, which is a true story. Actually, not me, my friend Parrish. Essentially, the story goes like this: you have an uncle, best uncle in the absolute world. Magic tricks, singing songs, playing the guitar, taking us out hiking, telling us stories. Great, right? So I found out on a Friday that he's going to visit Saturday. And that's the Saturday my mom decides to take me to somewhere. I can't even what it is now.
that's terrible.
Because I drive by the house and I see the uncle and Terry and there's several kids around. I mean, well, maybe by the time we get back, by the time we get back, it's midnight, so we go home. Sunday I want to go over there, but mom says, no, you got to clean up your room. So but his mom said, clean up the room. You better do that. And so by the time I got to his house, the uncle had one of those things. So I got later. But in the car. In a car accident. On Thursday, snap comes out at the end. Drives in a car accident. So he was there. How did that happen? Well, you know, they thought it was some kind of zombie was not mentioned. I told him before that because the last 2 sentences are the spooky part. Yeah. And they go, but how sweet. I only drove by and saw it. I didn't. It's not my fault.
And then now, let's talk about the other stuff before. The next one. Yeah, I never found a bracelet for it on. And one day, like, I was space cadets or things, and so like most bracelets are like Sure. I went to look for it one day. I had some time, so I was like sweeping around and never found anything. Yeah, that's like just a real spot.
You can do it. I don't care.
I didn't touch it.
Okay, so maybe put it balls in the background so that way it doesn't just go forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't want to do. So it's still. Here's Dan. The good news is that even when it goes black,
yeah,
it